Hey Aquarius Seekers, how are you? Welcome back to the Existential Shift, or new, if you're new. Okay, working with the Rider Waite, and here you are, right off the bat, the Fool. Calling me a fool? Yes. Tarot language-wise, which is a compliment. Being so open to the infinite timelines that this existence has to offer us. We're so open that we are them. We are the path. We don't just walk the path, which is what the Fool is about. Behind every tarot card, the Fool is speaking. There are actually 77 tarot cards, plus the Fool, that concludes it to 78. The Fool is integrated into every single one of them as the seeker on the path of the human condition, which is how you're coming through here in this reading. So yeah, me calling you a fool is a compliment. You are in the experience, whether you're feeling good or you're feeling bad, whether you're going through something challenging or something really beneficial. You see the adventure in it, you see the energetic value in it, you see the expansion, your soul's expansion, and you don't just theoretically know it and tell yourself, even though you're feeling sad, bad, etc., which would be very human, no judgment there, but you don't just do that, you actually experience that theoretical notion in a way that makes you feel better about even if you're feeling bad. 3 of Cups, 9 of Cups. But it's playing out realistically as joy, as content, feeling content. There's a celebratory energy here, a sense of freedom, a sense of self-expression, being free in the world, expressing who you are, what you enjoy, what you believe in. Maybe you're on a creative endeavor. Maybe you're doing something you're very passionate about. Maybe you're achieving a certain goal that you've had that required you to take a very different, out-of-the-box type of path, contradicting societal conformity and norms where people told you you're crazy, but you pursued that dream. And here you are experiencing the results and feeling very, very pleased with yourself, as you should. There's a wish fulfillment here with the 9 of Cups. There's a celebration here with the 3 of Cups. There's recognition from your peers and from your environment. Suddenly, you're not the reckless, crazy person. Suddenly, you are the brave entrepreneur. I mean, the only difference between the crazy, reckless person and the brave entrepreneur is whether you've succeeded or not at this point. Until you succeed, you're crazy and reckless. But once you succeed, you are brave and entrepreneur. I mean, it's how it is. Bottom of the deck, Judgment. And so far, if the path that you've been taking in order to reach this stage has been behind the scenes or not very expressed to the world, now there's no way other than expressing it to the world, posting about it, showing it, talking about it, because it will be seen. Maybe it's something public, maybe it's a specific position that has a public status to it. So it's no longer behind the scenes. You will be recognized for it publicly. So your environment will know, your environment will see. So you may as well celebrate it without fear of, the evil eye, or for the energy of it to lose itself. Don't operate from that place at this time. It's not a time to conserve energy and hide it from people. It's a time to celebrate, to express, to talk about it, to showcase it. Page of Wands, Page of Pentacles, and the Devil. Very interesting energies. Have a lot of mutable energy. So, square, Pisces, Virgo, Sagittarius on the table. We do have currently, as I'm recording this, a square between Saturn in Pisces and Mars in Virgo. An opposition, I'm sorry. 80. Talking to myself astrologically. 1 second, hold on. Now that you've succeeded in doing something very creative and out of the box, people will want to learn from you, study from you, flock to you. Some of them will have genuine intentions of seeing you as someone who's done something that they want to do as well, and they're feeling inspired, and they're genuinely humble and open-minded and devoted to learning from you. Some of them have an ulterior motive. Sometimes people want to learn from us because they're inspired and they want to know how to do something. Sometimes people want to learn from us because they just want to do copy paste exactly what we do so that they could succeed. The thing about learning and inspiration is that you learn the laws of something, the craft of something, and then you make it your own with your own unique creativity, and that's how you succeed. However, if you try to imitate someone, doing things exactly like for example, there's a difference between taking my tarot masterclass and learning tarot properly and then opening a YouTube channel and being a really, really good tarot reader, as opposed to taking my tarot masterclass and simultaneously to learning the craft of the tarot, also imitating my nuance and my entertaining qualities on YouTube and doing exactly the same thing. For example, if I have a very unique way of saying things that is specifically to me, copy pasting it and doing the same way, like saying hello to your viewers the way I say hello to my viewers, or speaking in a language and either body language or specific terminologies or just specific things that are unique to me. You understand the difference? You don't have to take me as an example. It's, copy paste it, ironically, to anything else or anyone else. There's a very big difference between learning from someone, being inspired by someone, and then taking that knowledge and utilizing it and integrating it with your own sense of individuality and creativity to create something that is yours versus just imitating it. So I see energies coming your way that are dual. Some genuinely want to learn from you and then take it and make it their own in their own way, unique way. And some just want to be you. But no one can be you. No one can be someone else. It's not something to really aspire to because that has an expiration date, right? There's just so much that someone can write on someone else's energy. They gotta inject it with their own energy, with their own creative life force. Otherwise, it will not be sustainable. So whatever success they'll achieve from copying you, it will be short-lived. It will feel amazing, right? Grow, 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 grow. But then the energy will end because you're not feeding it yourself. You're basing it. You're feeding off of someone else's vitality and life force and chi, and so it will start declining. So keep in mind that those are the differing energies that will come to you. It's interesting. It's literally why I made my tarot masterclass a lot more expensive than it used to be. It was always of that value of how much it costs now. If anything, I should have always made it cost the way it costs right now because that's just the value of it, if not more. But I used to think that I wanted it to be super available for as many people as possible that are on the spiritual shamanic journey, to give them the tools. But what I learned is when you make it easy for people to achieve wisdom that is beyond their energetic capacity, not necessarily financial capacity, but energetic capacity, is that they take advantage of it, and that's not cool. So part of the aspect of being worthy of certain knowledge, it's not about how much money you have. It's about how much energy and devotion you're willing to put into it. And if you have the energy and devotion and authenticity and sincerity, then you'll make it work. If you have the money, you'll spend it. If you don't have the money, you'll earn it in order to spend it, on this, right? So from any angle possible, I realize that I need to raise the price for my tarot masterclass. Now it's in alignment with its worth, and it's also making sure that people that get it are worthy. Again, not because of having money, but because of either willing to spend it if they have it, or willingness to attain it if they really, really are devoted and they really want it. They really want this, you know? So I think there's something in this for you. So if there's something that you have that is so unique and is so special for you and your wisdom and your path that you've attained, honorably, earned, right? Then people who follow you need to earn it too. They need to work hard for it too. And I think that's what the devil here is coming to say. It's like exercise selectivity and discernment. You made some sacrifices and you've taken risks to get to where you're at. Put a price tag on it. A high one. A proper one at the very least. 10 of Wands. The burdening sense of responsibility. Feeling kind of guilty, or like, but it's whatever it is that is relevant to you, to your situation. You're like, but I feel guilty hoarding it, or I feel like I have the moral obligation to share it with the world. Well, share it with the world, but make sure that the world that is being shared with also honors it by being worthy of it. Yes. Don't carry that guilt. Eight of Cups. Move away from feeling guilty for things you have no responsibility over, nor should you have responsibility over. It's the individual's responsibility to strengthen the muscle of worthiness, of honor, that makes them able to contain whatever knowledge or service or value that you have that you give. Now, this applies to your creative endeavors, but this also applies to your relationships. Your company is so valuable. You give so much. You give energy, you give inspiration, you give healing, you give guidance, you give entertainment, you give laughter. It needs to be reciprocated via people that at your presence, that is a present, have some value to give back. Now, value is all kinds of things. Value is a listening ear. Value can be loyalty. Value can be great friendship. Value can be monetized payment for whatever service you give. Value is all kinds of things, right? Value can be spiritual. Value can be emotional. Value can be cognitive, and value can be money. All kinds of things. But there has to be some value given, reciprocated back to you. Otherwise, it's charity. There's always room for charity, but even that needs to be selective. Charitable with your community, not with a partner. Otherwise, it's not love, it's just charity. Knight of Swords. There's a difference between being charitable and being giving. There's always an important place for giving, a reciprocal give and take. Don't confuse that with charity. Once you move away from making yourself available to anyone and anything, The people that you've made yourself available to without any conditions and without any reciprocation uh, demanded will get upset, and they will call you vain. They will call you selfish, and they will claim that you're abandoning them. They'll get really upset. They won't see your side of things. They'll just feel a certain level of fuel taken away from them, and they will experience a sense of lack, and they will be mad at you for taking it away from them. But it's not that you're taking it away as much as you're just not giving it. You're not taking anything from them. You're just back to ground zero and not giving something that they haven't done at all, or just not to a level that is suitable for how much you give. Let them be mad. Let them be upset. Move away anyway. And that will be true charity, actually. That will be true kindness, because that will allow them to go through their dark night of the soul and find that place within them that is a creative force in the world, that is divine, that can feed themselves, sustain themselves, and others. They will be forced to find the connecting link between them and universal energy, life force, where they take their energy and life force from the infinite cosmos as opposed to sucking it from people next to them. Because when someone's channel is blocked from receiving and reciprocating with the universe, with divinity, then they don't have a choice but to feed off of their environment. So if you constantly feed them, they have no urge or push to open the blockage. So for a while, they won't be fed from here, and they won't be fed from you, and they'll feel starved energetically or financially or friendship wise or whatever the case may be. And that will force them to seek a different pathway. And then they'll find that different pathway, because when you seek, you find. You just have to keep going. Giving them a chance to not eat the fish that you give them, rather know how to fish themselves. No one should fish. Poor fish. Really unnecessary. Unnecessary. Just an analogy so you'll understand what the point I'm trying to get across. Okay. Show me more, please. Oh, okay. So we have 7 of Swords and 4 more cards that dropped. Wow. Ooh. Ace of Cups, 6 of Pentacles, and Ace of Pentacles, King of Swords. Wow. You love to give, that's great. Love to be charitable, that's wonderful. Keep going. Just not in the ways you've done this so far. When it comes to people's misfortune, whatever you have to give and can give from a charitable place, keep going, that's great. However, it can't apply to your close relationships, close friendships, partnership. Those are places where if the person in your life that you're in a dynamic with going through a hard time, yeah, be a good friend and be there for them just as much as they would be there for you if it was the other way around. Not speaking against it, quite the opposite. Friendship is a mutual presence that saves us from ourselves. You can't go at it alone. Not saying don't be a good friend, and I'm not saying don't show up for people. But it can't be the only aspect of the connection. It has to be circumstantial. Someone is going through a hard time, you're showing up for them, and okay, they're back on their feet, and then they would do the same for you. Friendship. But if it's someone that consistently takes from you and doesn't give back and never seems to get back up on their feet, no, without even trying, that's something different. Separate between charity and friendship, between charity and romance, especially. Even if you're in a relationship that is under gender roles, cool. So the man does this, the woman does that. As long as it's reciprocal and balanced, and everyone has their role, and together it's complementary, that's beautiful. So one of you does more of that, the other one does more of that. That's okay. But there's still balance there. The give and take is complementary. But if one of you does all of it or most of it, and the burden is solely on you, oh, I see a relationship here that is very balanced. It can work really, really well. It's going to come from a place that values your heart and your creativity and your life force, and forces balance onto it, where it's like, okay, where do I give unconditionally? Where can I afford to do that? With who can I afford to do that? And where do I not? And once you do that, it manifests into a very balanced, stable, sustained connection, relationship, partnership, whatever the case may be. And yeah, you got to plan it, and you got to count it at first before. If there's something that is imbalanced, then yeah, in order to reach natural balance and oh my god, organic balance, you got to first go through the methodical counting type of give and take. If you're in one extreme, you got to go to the other extreme before you find natural balance, right? What do I mean by natural organic balance? Where the give and take just kind of happens, it just flows, just it's natural. Kind of both parties are just giving and taking in a very harmonious, balanced way. But if that's not the case, if it's extreme to the other side, then you got to sit and count. Be methodical and harsh. Go to the other extreme. And then once things are balanced, forced balance, then the two parties kind of learn how to, it becomes a habit. Now, it can happen in a specific relationship where you both sit down and you're devoted to making it balanced. So you start counting and planning until slowly but surely it becomes balanced. Or it can mean, okay, this person is just not willing to learn, or pretending to not be willing to not be able to learn because they don't really want to, even though they say they want to, just to keep me around. Okay, moving along and doing it with someone else where it does come naturally. If you want to study tarot with me, link is below. It's over on Vimeo. Okay, it's Tarot Masterclass. Hangman, it will require sacrifice and changing your perspective and relearning habits that you have when it comes to relationships with other people. And the third ace, Ace of Swords, and that will crack the code. What's going on with the lighting? Whatever, you can hear me. That's what's important. Ace of Swords. So the only thing that's missing amongst the aces is the Ace of Wands, which is your genuine will and urge to do that way. Which means you don't really want to instinctually you don't want to do it. Instinctually you're like, but that doesn't feel right. But it's right. It's right spiritually. It's right practically. It's right cognitively and divinely, because this is not just cognitive, it's also divine. Go through the cups, the pentacles, and the swords. Go through the emotion, the practicality, and the mind. And the fire of the instinctual fire will kind of catch up, and you will teach yourself to be instinctually into it. Okay? Stay magic, stay true. I love you and thank you.